Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in today's sports. I'm Adam.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Tom, and for this episode for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, we have Geeks and Greeks news.
We also have March Madness bracket update, the game of the week, and pinnacle New England Patriots.
So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports.
And here we go.
All right, we got another episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast coming at you. It's going to be a full episode. We got a lot going on today, and it's going to be a good one. But first, as always, the weekly update. How you guys been?
I've been pretty good. My kids finally got to go back to their mothers. So I've actually had nice, peace, and quiet nights. I've been able to clean my house a little bit and, work on the yard a little bit. Yeah, it's been interesting.
Find any more snakes?
Quiet. No snakes yet, but they probably haven't woken up yet.
It is a little early.
Hibernating.
It is not April yet.
Yeah.
We just got back from Show Choir Nationals. We did pretty good considering. We got 4th and 5th in their respective divisions. Came home to find out that one of the sump pump lines in my basement broke, and it was just creating a perpetual fountain.
That sucks.
Hopefully it's not over like carpet or anything, and it's at least over like the still concrete floor, so it's easier to clean up.
Yeah, it was. All we had to do was put some fans down there, and it was fine.
Well, that's good.
Thankfully, our neighbors were checking in on the cats, and they heard what was going on in the basement, came down, and my neighbor Chris fixed it, and I couldn't even tell where it was broke. I was like,
nice.
Hey, thanks, man.
Nice. Wish I had that nice of neighbors.
Yeah.
It's been busy. I mean, still like between just work and school and stuff, it's always crazy around here. And my daughter had an event at school that she was supposed to do with friends, but her friends never showed up. So it was just her. And I'm like, oh man, it's some jerk friends.
Yeah, that sucks.
But she still had a good time, and it was pretty fun. It was enjoyable. But on that, don't forget to like and subscribe on the episode, guys. It always helps us out and gets us into that algorithm sections. So, on that note, let's move on into news.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family of Chuck Norris, who passed away this week at the age of 86. The martial artist and actor inadvertently became the topic of a series of jokes and musings, framing Chuck Norris as a superhuman entity.
I don't know if it was framing this. I think it was just accurately calling him out for being a superhuman entity.
I mean, yeah, I love Chuck Norris jokes, man. Like,
they're the best.
I mean,
I love Chuck Norris too. I mean, Walker, Texas Ranger was one of my favorite shows growing up. I am sad to hear him pass. I kind of did have that like belief in me that Chuck Norris was like the first person to never die. Like that wouldn't have shocked me. And I'm kind of surprised I outlived him. Yeah. But, I mean, best wishes to his family, and he will definitely be missed. I'm sorry to see him go.
Yeah, it was definitely sad, and I'll be honest, when we were looking into it, I was kind of surprised that he was in Hawaii when he passed. Honestly, that was more of what was shocking to me. I'm like, oh, he's out in Hawaii? At least he's enjoying his life, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, is he getting to paradise if he leaves that paradise? I don't know. Jesus, he's already in heaven there.
Yeah, right. I'd love to be out. I'd love to be out in Hawaii. That'd be great.
I mean, I would too, but also with like SPF 1000 because the sun is a deadly laser.
It's not as bad.
Yeah, especially with Pete. It's like a spoon in the microwave, just sparks and a lot of pain.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm whiter than both of you. Calm down.
Oh, come on, man. You ever had blood blisters from the sun? I have.
Not that bad, but the worst of I've ever had was one summer when I had like really, really short hair, like a buzz cut all the way around, and got burnt on the top of my head. That was the absolute worst.
That's always bad. I've been hospitalized twice because of sun exposure.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm technically considered photosensitive, but I consider myself allergic to sunlight.
It's more straight to the point.
Pretty much.
I think we just label that as albino.
My eyes are blue. I'm not albino.
Contacts.
I'm just Scottish.
You're just wearing contacts, that's all. It's okay. We got you.
Contacts and glasses. Classy.
Yep. They'll never know.
But that moves us into the next story of news. This weekend had the Fanatics Flag Football Classic, a round-robin tournament between Team USA, the USA flag football team, Team Wildcats led by Jayden Daniels and Joe Burrow, and finally Team Founders led by Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady. Team USA dominated the tournament, defeating the Wildcats 39-14, then defeating the Founders 43-16, and then the Wildcats won over the Founders, sending the Wildcats to the championship, which they would inevitably lose to Team USA 24-14. So I guess what I want to ask about all this is, do you think that playing flag football in the off season is a safe way to tide football fans over, or is this kind of diluting the product, making it worse?
I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think anyone really cares about because it's flag football, so it's not real football.
Okay.
Like, this is basically the 7-on-7 drills that guys run in the summer at this point. I mean, yeah. Jake Paul was there as a player and tried to make it out that he beat Tom Brady. Like, dude,
oh God,
go play real football, then say something.
Yeah, I mean, I do see your point, but we are coming up on the Olympics in a couple of years here. They're going to be playing flag football at the Olympics. I think it makes sense for this to kind of hype that up. I've talked about it on the podcast before. I'm a very big fan of the globalization of football. I do like that we're branching out into other countries, and flag football is kind of the safest way to do it. I mean, let's be honest, American football is insane. These men are wearing suits of armor and they're running at full speed, which is faster than you can comprehend, and they're crashing headfirst into one another, and they do it 60 times a game. Like it is nuts. And you know, some linemen have to have a series of pulleys to get them out of bed on Monday morning because of how bad their backs get Monday morning after a football game, you know, and I get why other people don't want to play this game. I love it. I prefer tackle football. I do. I really only ever watch the NFL. But I get why flag football would be the export of that. And I think it makes sense. Listen, we're going to get 1 year of football in the Olympics, just one. Let us hype it up for a couple years, and then it'll just disappear in 2029 like nobody cared about it in the first place. So from my perspective, I don't think anybody's going to get hurt. What are they going to do, roll an ankle? Like, the season's more than 6 weeks away. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, the worst that would happen is I could see someone popping an Achilles or an ACL. I mean, how many times do we see guys pop one on non-contact doing basically this?
It's true.
So, I mean, but at the same time, I think the more they play like this, the less likely it is it's going to happen. Because their training camps and everything else are not the same as they used to be. And, I mean, it's hard to not take what the ex-players have said. And guys that played in, like, the 2000s and into the more modern times when they kind of reeled back on practices and everything, a lot of those guys have come out and said that a lot of that's not having that kind of practice is what's hurting the players because your body's not used to the demands it needs for the season. And taking at least some of that punishment in practice early helps your body adjust to it and get used to it for the season.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a huge deal. But it's fun to watch sometimes, and I still want to check out the USFL because I'm pretty sure that has started or is starting soon.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
we have the USFL going on now too, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also something to be said about keeping your joints warm, your muscles warm. A lot of football players get into trouble in the off season. Why? Because they have nothing to do, but they sit around and they drink. And this is better than sitting around and drinking. Even though I enjoy sitting around and drinking, I'm not a professional athlete, and I'm not driving a sports car all over the place like they are. And I I think if you can keep them engaged in the off season, like you said, it's going to help their bodies, but I think it's going to help their mental health too, because they have something to do, and this will hopefully keep them out of trouble.
And I think this also helps too in the regards that it keeps their bodies going, but doesn't put that much strain on it. But it still keeps them moving and doing football activities. Also, it's not serious. So it's also something they can go out and just enjoy and have fun with it. And it's not like, it's not the same pressure as a season game or something.
Well, it's funny you say that because a lot of the sportscasters, I guess, do you want to call them sportscasters? Reporters were saying that they seem to be taking this game more seriously than the Pro Bowl flag football game.
I'm kind of not surprised. I mean, you have to remember that the Pro Bowl happens at the very end of the season. Like, you're blowing off steam. You got a lot of grudges. People got receipts. But, like, also, you want to be out of that mindset. You're ready to party. You're ready to be done. You didn't make it to the Super Bowl because you're playing in the Pro Bowl. Like, I think that's more of a barbecue for the guys to get together and show off. Whereas this is like off season. Hey, let's have a competition.
Yeah. It's like the same thing of like a lot of the NBA players in the summer when they do like the summer runs at different colleges and stuff around like Houston or UCLA or things like that. They'll take some of those games a lot more seriously than the All-Star game because they're getting together and it's more for pride at that point. And they're not in the middle of the season. So they're getting together to play and have runs on 5-on-5 games.
But that brings us into the next part of our podcast, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, what's up? Before we continue our show, I want to talk to you about our new sponsor, Dubby. You ever feel like you need that extra oomph to power through those late night study sessions, clutch those game wins, or finish that epic video edit? I know I do, and I finally found something that actually works without the jitters or the dreaded crash. Let me introduce you to Dubby. That's right, guys, we're partnering with Dubby and we're seriously hyped. Dubby is our new go-to energy drink and it is a total game changer. What makes it so different is, first off, and this is huge for me, Dubby has no artificial dyes, plus it's all completely sugar-free. So, you don't get that quick energy spike followed by a massive crash. And the taste is absolutely amazing. Dubby comes with a bunch of different flavors, such as tiger's blood, green apple, strawberry pineapple, plus limited time offers that do go quickly. I'm currently obsessed with the tiger's blood myself, but they're all really good. Alright, so how do you get your hands on this stuff? Head on over to dubby.gg and use our code GEEKS10 for 10% off your entire order. That's dubby.gg, dubby.gg. Seriously guys, go give it a try. You won't regret it. We love this product and I'm sure you will too. It's definitely been a game changer for us and I'm stoked to be sharing it with the rest of you. Now, let's go ahead and get back to our show.
That brings us into March Madness. In the first week of March Madness, we have already eliminated 52 teams, leaving us with the Sweet 16. And for the three of us,
it's bad.
It's bad. Let me get this over here. Okay, so in the East, I lost Louisville. But Pete took a hit when Ohio State... There we go. When Ohio State got knocked out in the first round.
Wow.
We all did.
In the South, there was a lot of disappointment, but it took a hard hit when North Carolina and St. Mary's were eliminated on day one.
Yeah. Honestly, North Carolina losing doesn't surprise me. They lost their best player in the ACC tournament, and with college, a lot of it is based on play. If you have that one guy, especially a guy that's supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft, like that team's kind of built around him, and without that one guy, it kind of falls apart. So it doesn't surprise me that they didn't make it past the first round, to be honest with you.
Then we move on to the Midwest, and Adam took the big hit with Virginia being eliminated in the second round.
Yeah.
And finally, in the West, Adam got Utah State and Arizona and Gonzaga and got everything else wrong. But going into the Sweet 16, the score stands at Adam 32. Pete and I are tied at 41. We still can't get away from crossover.
Yeah. Watch, we're going to all tie at the end of this like we always do.
That would be
It'd be
hilarious.
hilarious.
I don't know if it's possible for me to tie with you guys at this point.
But
I don't know.
tune in next week when we will recap the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 and get to see how much of the Final Four is intact. Currently, Adam has taken the hardest hit with 2 of his Final Four being eliminated.
Yeah.
But it's still anyone's game.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
All right. That's disappointing. Let's move on to something that's a bit more upbeat.
All right, let's move it on to the game of the week.
Here comes a new challenger!
All right. Adam, do you want to take this one?
I guess if I have to. All right. So this was my pick for game of the week, or I should say match of the week, because I picked a wrestling match. We went back to WrestleMania 19 with the main event of Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. And it's weird to think that this happened in 2003.
I know.
It's been
Holy
23 years since this match has happened.
He was clean chest, no knife, no sword, whatever that stupid thing
Oh
is.
my goodness.
Dude,
Yeah.
he looks like a baby.
Oh my
Such a
God.
baby face.
Is this pre-Sable?
Yes, this was his first year in the WWE.
Right, yeah.
This was his rookie year. Yeah.
As evident by that shooting star press at the end of the match.
You know, on that note of that, apparently in talking to other, like, I think it was either John Cena or Randy Orton was talking about that because they were with him down in OVW before they came up to WWE. And they're like, we've seen him hit that multiple times. They're like, the biggest problem is he was just out too far. Kurt wasn't close enough. He didn't bring him close enough to that corner to hit it. He tried to go out too far.
Yeah.
And they were also saying, like, dude, had that been pretty much anyone else on the roster, he probably would have died. Like, somehow Brock, with wrestling and everything else, and just the sheer brute, like, beast of a man that he is, somehow didn't break his neck when he landed. And they didn't know,
I don't
like,
know how he did that.
because he was knocked out. You could tell he was out cold. And they even said that he was out. Like, it took him a little bit to come back to it. Like, it was almost on instinct that they finished it.
Yeah, he was loopy, you could tell.
Yeah.
Not only that, but when he got up, he had like a big red mark across his face and his nose was all bloody.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he broke his nose. So I didn't mean to start off with this, and I'm sorry, but for those of us listening to us, we'll just explain what happens at the end of this. Is there's a really big botch, and I actually hadn't seen this whole match before, but I have seen the ending a million times because it's the most famous Brock Lesnar botch, where he goes up to do a shooting star press, and Kurt Angle is a good 70% across the ring. Like he's well past the halfway mark, and Lesnar just doesn't quite make it, and also lands directly on his head. And they even slow-mo it, and it's like just straight up, straight down on his head and neck, and just gets knocked out. I think he broke his nose. You could see once he gets up, he wins the match, goes on to win the match. But when he gets up to like accept the belt, stuff like that, he can't walk in a straight line and he falls over when he's trying to walk out. Like very heavily concussed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As well.
That was the official announcement after this was Kurt Angle had some really weird injury that I don't remember, but I remember that Brock Lesnar officially had a concussion from this match.
Well, Kurt had a broken neck going into the match. He'd been wrestling with a broken neck for like a year or two at this point. And I guess from what he had said, because he's talked about this too, is that like after the match, when he got back to the locker room, he basically just collapsed because the adrenaline wore off and he could barely move. And I think it was the broken neck and the adrenaline and everything else that happened in the match had finally caught up to him. And after this, he was off TV for like 3-4 months. Like he was gone for a while because he had to have legit surgery to finally get it fixed. And so like he even talks about how it's one of the worst he'd had because he just collapsed after the adrenaline finally wore off when he got back to the locker room. And so it was, I think this is also too the start of his pain pill addiction too. Like this last year or so is when it really started. And this is kind of when it really ramped up a lot. But yeah, this match was really good though. And it was cool. It's one of those cool things because the part of the hype for this match going into it was Kurt was a gold medal winner at the 96 Olympics. Brock Lesnar was a NCAA champion that over his 4 years in college, I think had only lost like 2 or 3 matches in 4 years.
Yeah. So I got a comment about this really quick. I have a note that said, "Oh, is Kurt Angle a gold medalist?" He really should have mentioned something about 30 times in the past 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's been Kurt's slogan, obviously, pretty much since he came into the WWE. But at the same time, why not? I mean, use it. I mean, go with it. And it was cool to watch them do amateur style wrestling in the beginning of this match and to see those two go at it. And it's crazy because Brock is, I think at this point he's 290 is what they say he weighs in at or something like that. Yeah, and he's about 60 pounds heavier than Kurt, but he's quicker. Somehow that man is faster than Kurt on the mat like that. And it's insane to see how fast he can move at that size and that weight.
And it's not just the speed. The fact that he can throw Kurt Angle around like Kurt Angle weighs 50 pounds, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, he picks him up like he weighs nothing and just like a frisbee.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kurt does the same Brock. I mean, there's some suplexes that Kurt hits in this match that are just insane. You know, there's a release German where Lesnar does a full flip and lands on his face. Like, it just was incredible. Believe it or not, I'm not a huge fan of like collegiate wrestling. So if not for the commentary, I would have found the beginning of this match very boring. But thankfully we had Taz and Michael Cole on commentary. And honestly, Michael Cole is so much better calling this match than I've heard him in 10 years. Like, it really was. And Taz next to him, first off, Taz looking all dapper and young and like, his neck's not like this because he's had 20 surgeries since then. Like, you know, and, wearing a suit instead of leather. Like, it was nice to see Taz in his heyday as an announcer and to hear him break down a match. I mean, even in his AEW days when he breaks down the different holds and then like the different torquing techniques and why they're important, you know, like why you do this hold. So that way your opponent does that with his foot and you can grab it, you know, and then you lock in the bow and arrow hold. And then he's like, oh man, I used to do this hold all the time when I was playing. And then I've been in it too. It hurts, man. Like, you know, and it was their commentary made the opening probably 6 minutes of this match a lot better for me because they did. I mean, it was very technical wrestling and applause. Not like I can't do this. And it was very fun to watch, but like, it was also just kind of, you know, mat wrestling.
Yeah.
Which kind of the same stuff.
Which we also know you're not a huge fan of, but
right. Yeah.
It's, like I said, it was cool. And yeah, their commentary was fantastic. And honestly, I think Michael Cole's best announcing work was during this whole time with SmackDown between like 2007 was by far his best work he did as an announcer. And I don't know if that's just because Vince wasn't in his ear as much and just kind of let him go with it, and he got worse later, or if it was Taz that was able to kind of calm him down and kind of work with him more. I don't know, but this Michael Cole in these couple years here was absolutely fantastic. And I liked this announce team honestly better than JR and the King, to be honest with you.
Just bite your tongue.
I was honestly, it was like I didn't like Jerry Lawler as an announcer. Like, I get what he was doing. I liked Cole and Taz better. I thought they were better as an announce team for the show. Like I said, I understand what Lawler was doing and kind of his character and also what he was as a wrestler beforehand. I get it. I just didn't like it as much. But going back to the actual match, like, this match was absolutely fantastic. And we saw one of the spots that's one of my favorites, and that was always like the multiple German suplexes that Kurt and Chris Benoit would do in this time frame. And I'm kind of sad that I don't know if anyone really does that anymore. And it was just always so much fun, especially whenever we'd have a match with Kurt and he'd do like 3, 4, 5 of them in a row. And it was just so cool to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I think Suplex City went on to burn that out a lot.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Suplex City was Lesnar didn't change up the suplex. It was just 16 back-to-back German suplexes. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it is a hell of a feat to be able to do that. And like, to throw your opponent around the ring like that is incredible feats of strength. But it's not wrestling in any stretch of the word. It is just simply a repeated move over and over again. And
boring.
It's boring. And he did it for years. Like, years we were subjected to Suplex City just over and over again. That was a Lesnar match. How many German suplexes is he going to do? And then he's going to hit a spear, and then the match is over. Or an F5, sorry. An F5, the match is over. When you change the suplexes up, which they did in this match, like, they're not just hitting the exact same suplex every time. It is so much better. And who's really good at that is Samoa Joe, actually. He changes holds and suplexes all the time.
Yeah.
I do want to put a quick caveat on that. A repeated move is acceptable if two things happen. One, it's a fast move. And two, you can get the crowd really into it and counting them.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have the crowd going 1, 2, 3,
right,
and they did for that for a little while too. It's just when you do it over and over again, like every single match, is when it burns out. So it's like, save it for bigger matches. Like, save it for like one like Raw or SmackDown throughout the month, a pay-per-view match. That's it.
Well, this was WrestleMania.
Right, but I'm saying, like, I guess I'm more talking about Suplex City when he was doing it. Like, if he didn't do it every single match, it wouldn't have been as bad. But because it's I mean, it's the same as the Young Bucks. I mean, it's just as bad. When you do the same thing over and over, people stop caring. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
But yeah, no, this, like I said, they only did it once in this match. I think maybe twice, because I think there was at one point where Kurt hit 2, but then Brock reversed it, and then he hit 2, then Kurt hit 3. So, like, when they reversed it, would kind of go into the different spots. Like, that was kind of fun. And it shakes it a bit because they have both guys reversing it to go back into it. It's just kind of neat. And so, yeah, it was really good. And one thing I was going to say about the shooting star press, I think the most impressive thing about the whole thing was the height that Brock got on that. Because he got up. Yeah. Like, his vertical, he was probably at least a good 15 feet above the mat at that point, jumping from the turnbuckle, and came down straight on his head from 15 feet. Head. Like, it's crazy to see what he can do in this
strength. Something like that when you hit the mat.
Yeah. Except everybody moves because the whole ring just shakes.
I have to admit, I didn't know this was coming when I saw it, and my immediate reaction was, oh wow, he just sold that really well. Still selling it.
Oh, he's not selling it.
No, as soon as he came out in that ring gear, the all black with the ribs taped up, I'm just like, I know what match this is.
Yeah.
I've seen the ending of this about 20.
Yep. Yeah, and this was the first WrestleMania that I remember watching live. So this was I'd seen like some matches from different WrestleManias, like the TLC matches and things like that. But this was the first one that I ever saw that I watched it live as it was happening. And I remember because I remember watching it, and when that move happened, like everyone was just like, "Oh my god, it's Brock dead!" Like everyone thought he was just dead.
Just dead. Yeah.
The announcers did such a great job of selling it too.
Oh yeah.
Like both Cole and Taz, who's supposed to kind of play the kind of heel-ish commentator too. Even he was like, "Oh my god, I think he's dead."
Oh, but yeah, no, I was thinking about it when it came out. The reason this match, I'd never seen this match before or this WrestleMania before. So it would have happened in April of 2003. And I graduated high school in May of 2003. So, like, at that point in my life, professional wrestling was the furthest thing from my mind. Like, I was not watching actively at all at this point in time, to say the least.
Yeah, this would have happened the end of my sophomore year of high school. So I graduated in 05. So yeah, this would have been towards the end of my sophomore year, and this is when I really started getting into wrestling. Like, this was like, I guess my version of childhood in wrestling. 'Cause this is when I really started getting into it, like a lot. Like I'd seen some here and there, but this is when I really started watching a lot of wrestling at this point. So I remember like I would tape SmackDown because it wasn't on like a regular channel. I forget what channel it was on at this point because it wasn't even the CW. I forget, but like our local Fox station would air it on like Saturday night at like 2 a.m. or something like that, or 1 a.m. It was something ridiculous. Yeah, so I'd either record it or I'd stay up and watch it. And then my friend Jeremy, he had cable, so he would record Raw. And so I'd go over to his house on the weekends and watch Raw.
Yeah.
So this was this was so much fun.
Yeah. Out here, it was on SmackDown was on UPN, and I didn't have cable either.
That's what it was.
So when I would watch it, I'd only really watch SmackDown, or I'd go over to my friend's place to watch Raw. But my parents didn't want me watching wrestling, and my dad had this old black and white TV that was upstairs in the office, and I would turn it on and just have the volume just loud enough for me to hear it. So I watched like the majority of 2000 not really the late 90s, but like 2000 in black and white. It wasn't until 2000 I started watching in color.
Nice. when you escaped and got to college.
Yeah, exactly. And then became obsessed and watch way too much now.
But moving on, Pete, who do you have us watching next week?
Well, speaking of watching way too much wrestling, I know it's getting a little one note. But I had already thought this through, and I didn't come up with a plan B when Adam threw a curveball last week. So we are going to go with another wrestling match. This one is significantly more modern than Adam's. We are going to go just back to last year, 2025, AEW Revolution. This was actually one of my we call them the marquees. I pulled this match out specifically. It's the Hollywood ending. Tony Storm versus Mariah May.
Oh,
it's
I
going to be
remember
my
this.
match. Yeah.
This is the Crimson Mask, isn't it?
Both of them get a Crimson Mask. Yeah. It is a no disqualification match. I know I keep making you guys watch hardcore matches. I'm sorry. Falls Count Anywhere, I believe. Yeah, Falls Count Anywhere for sure. It is a fantastic match. Tony Storm is the champ coming in. I'm not going to tell you who wins. And it is the perfect ending to an amazing feud. And they just ended it here, which is even the best part about it, because they called it the Hollywood ending going in, and they didn't drag it out going out of it. And WWE can learn something from that, because they love beating a dead horse as much as possible.
I mean, to be fair, they do. They really, really do. But at the same time, AEW has been known to beat a dead horse to death too.
They have.
They have done it plenty of times as well. But I'm not gonna give WWE a pass either. They're also really bad about it. So
yeah,
isn't also
not
if I remember
in this particular story though.
Right. If I remember correctly, wasn't this Mariah May's last match in AEW and she went to WWE after this match?
I mean, it was. That kind of gives away the ending, but yeah.
You're not supposed to know that.
Right, yeah. So this is her last match, and she goes on to become Lake Monroe over in NXT. And it's also Toni Storm and Mariah May's last match against each other. It is perfect that they teed it up like this.
All right.
But that brings us into the pinnacle, where we examine a specific team in the NFL and speculate on the best player at each skill position. This week we examine... That's long. The New England Patriots. Now, give me a second as I put this up on the tee. Pete, who stands out as the best quarterback for the New England Patriots?
Oh my God. So I didn't even waste my time researching this. My notes literally say, I'm not going to waste my time here. For 20 years, they hosted the quarterback that is currently known as the greatest of all time. There's no way they had a better quarterback than him. I'm not even going to say his name. You know who I'm talking about.
I mean, there's only one answer here.
Yeah. There's not a discussion. There's not a debate. We could just move to the next position.
The man spent 40% of his seasons going to a Super Bowl and 30% of his seasons winning those Super Bowls.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean, there's nothing else even close to say.
He holds 13 NFL records.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, for the listeners' preference, if you don't know who Tom Brady is and you somehow stumbled upon this podcast, I'm sorry I can't be the person to tell you about him. Go look him up. I don't care. I'm so angry at this guy. I want my ring back.
I still love that video, that short he put out where he was addressing fan questions, and he goes, if the NFL was scripted, do you think there's a chance in hell that I would agree to lose 2 Super Bowls to Peyton Manning's little brother? No.
I mean, he's got a point.
Great line.
That's fantastic.
My favorite Tom Brady moment on camera there is they did this Facebook series called Tom versus Time. And it followed the 2017 season. And he won the MVP of the NFL that year. And the camera guy or producer or whoever asked him, hey, how do you feel about winning the NFL MVP? And he goes, talk to me if I win no, I'd rather win the MVP of the Super Bowl. Talk to me then. And then he went on to lose that Super Bowl. And then he delayed the fight.
That was the Eagles one, yeah.
Was. The Eagles won it. Nicky Foles was the MVP of that Super Bowl, and then they were supposed to put out the next episode like 3 weeks later, and he delayed it like 6 months because he had sour grapes. It was hilarious.
That is good.
How's that MVP line feeling now there, Tom?
I mean, in the modern, I guess in the last like 20, 25 years or even 30, is Nick Foles the most random Super Bowl MVP we have?
Yes. Right? Absolutely.
It couldn't have been more random if you rolled a dice to determine the MVP.
I mean, let's give him his full credit, because he did go to the Pro Bowl as an alternate and ended up playing and won the MVP of the Pro Bowl too. Yeah. So he does have a little bit of a pass. It's not completely out of left field, but it's out of left field.
And I'm not trying to take away from him at all. I'm just saying, like, of the most recent, like I said, 20, 25 years in the NFL, he's probably the most random MVP we have for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, the only other one might be, like, Malcolm Jenkins for the interception on the goal line for the Patriots one. But that was, like, the game-sealing play, so I could see why he would get that. But, like, other than that, I can't think of anybody else that it's just a random player like that had 1 or 2 good seasons and then just disappeared completely.
But moving on to the running back position, Adam, who do you think is the best running back of the Patriots?
So this one was weird for me because as I'm looking this up on like Pro Football Reference and stuff, the top rushing leaders are both fullbacks, and it's hard for me to say that a fullback is the best running back in team history. Like even like especially when your yards per carry are like 4 or less, like are you really the best or did you just compile for a bunch of years? Like so honestly for me, I picked Curtis Martin, who was also the Jets' best running back. And the ironic part is he was only there for 3 years. But in those 3 years, he put up 3,800 yards and 32 touchdowns in just 3 years. Now, I will say his yards per attempt are low, but he was also a rookie. Like, he was a beginning rookie player, which in the early 2000s, sorry, in the 90s, that's not that uncommon. Rookies weren't coming in and making huge impacts in the 90s like that. So, but that's mine. I have Curtis Martin.
Pete, your thoughts on the running back position?
So I kind of feel the same way Adam does. To me, it just kind of came down to two guys. They were both there for 3 years. They both played the majority of their career somewhere else. They both had over 3,000 yards when they played for New England. They both had over 30 touchdowns when they played for New England. The guy who had less yards had more TDs. I have no idea how to pick between these two. The only difference that I could really find was Corey Dillon had 1 Pro Bowl and Curtis Martin had 2. So I went with Curtis Martin.
All right. Now, in my defense, Curtis Martin was a fine choice. I disqualified him because of his short tenure in New England. And I went with Kevin Falk.
Okay.
Now, I know Kevin Falk is not the outstanding player in any of the measurables for a running back, but that's because he's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of running backs. He's number 6 in rushing yards and number 13 in receiving yards, but he's definitely number 1 as far as running backs. And yeah, he was getting the ball from Tom Brady, so that's going to make anyone a superstar. I know. But
yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll say this, though, in defense of Kevin Falk, those early years when Brady was there, we were kind of talking about this before the show, Brady wasn't a star. When he took over for Drew Bledsoe because he got hurt, he was honestly an average to above average quarterback at that point. Like, he wasn't anything that special. He just didn't turn the ball over and would make plays and when the plays mattered the most. That's what set him apart from other people. But as far as stats and everything else, he didn't do a ton in the beginning. And plus give Kevin Falk credit. He was there for like 3 of the Super Bowls.
yeah, he played from 99 to 11.
Yeah.
So 12
Damn.
seasons. Or
13.
seasons.
Yeah.
13 seasons.
But
Math.
and he got at least 2 or 3 Super Bowls in that time frame. So I mean, you gotta give him credit for that. He was there in the era where Belichick was not afraid to just toss dudes off to the side and trade them. He stayed there for 13 years.
Yeah.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, and Belichick loved running back by committee, too. Like, the fact that he stayed there for that long and he stayed in the rotation of probably 4 running backs Belichick was switching between, you know?
Yeah.
Moving on to the wide receiver position. Pete, what are your thoughts on the Patriots wide receivers?
All right, so this was probably the hardest position for me to determine. So you were talking about the short tenure. My cutoff was 3 years. If you've been there for 3 years, you count. You've only been there for 2 or even 2.5. I'm gonna toss you to the side, and your stats aren't gonna count. So Randy Moss just kind of cuts it off, right? He was there for 3.5 years. He's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. I tried to make an argument to not pick Randy Moss. Wes Welker was there for 6 years. His best years were there, but he didn't put up Randy Moss numbers. Wes Welker's entire career, including his years outside of New England, he had the same number of touchdowns as Randy Moss had in just his 3 years at New England. I mean, you don't have a bigger game changer than that. And the only other person to make an argument about was Gronk. And this is a wide receiver conversation. Gronk he's not a wide receiver. So I feel like I have to pick Randy Moss. I mean, obviously, hold a gun to my head. I'm picking Randy Moss as the best receiver, but yeah, he's the best receiver.
Okay, I'm going to jump the queue real quick. I'm sorry, Adam. I had the same exact argument in my head between Wes Welker and Randy Moss, but I went with Wes Welker just because of the 6 years that he played for New England. And Randy Moss played far less and never got a Super Bowl.
Which is crazy.
Which is hilarious.
Because both were lost to Eli.
Both were lost to Eli. Sorry, I had to point that out because I thought it was funny that Pete and I were on the same train tracks, and he went left and I went right. Stanley Morgan as a runner-up, but his percentages were way worse than both Randy Moss or Wes Welker. Sorry, Adam.
So I actually have one that nobody picked. I mean, he was there. I mean, I really thought about Randy Moss. I mean, he'd be a close second. He'd be first by far if he was just there for a couple more seasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I actually went with Troy Brown. So he was the receiver for New England from 93 to 2007. So he played with Bledsoe and Drew Brees and was there for two of the beginning Super Bowls in 2001 and 2002. Or no, 2001 and 2003, I think it was.
Yes,
but so he was there for the beginning of it, and he was he was a good receiver. He was also, like I said, he was just there for a long time. He spent 15 years in New England. Now, I mean, Moss has him on most stats minus yardage just because he wasn't there that long. But Troy Brown is also an important guy that was there for a long time, that was one of those guys that would, like, it's kind of like Larry Fitzgerald, where he just didn't drop the ball that much. So it was a sure target for Tom Brady when he's first starting out and getting him comfortable and getting him used to it. I mean, Tom Brady's first year when he was playing was Troy Brown had a catch rate of 71%, which is pretty impressive. Like, I mean, he was a guy that was just going to hold on to the ball for the most part. And so he was pretty important to that beginning of the dynasty. And so that's where I went with mine. And then Randy Moss was second.
Adam, I have to ask you about the tight ends because I'm pretty sure I know where Pete's going with it.
So I'm going to talk about the honorable mention because there's only one tight end. It's like the quarterback. There's only one option here. So number one is, like I said, I'm going to go with the honorable mention first because I'll let one of you guys talk about the number one guy. My honorable mention for this actually was Ben Coates, who was there for 10 years, or he was there for 9 years, from 90 to 99, 91 to 99.
Wow.
And I mean, in that time frame, he put up 5,555 yards, 5,471. Sorry, that was his total career. He spent 1 year in Baltimore and then he retired. But he put up almost 5,500 yards in 9 years, which for a tight end is pretty good. Like I said, this is the 90s. Tight ends weren't contributing a ton to the passing game. So if you had one that could, it was definitely an X factor back in that time frame. He was also a good blocker too, and was integral to that run game at the same time. So I'm going to go with Ben Coates, who also had a 62% catch rate while he was in New England.
You're going with Ben Coates, or that's your honorable mention?
That's my honorable mention.
Okay.
No, there's only one real option.
Pete, do you just want to say the name?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously Ron Gronkowski. I mean, he's not the greatest tight end of all time. That's probably going to be Jason Kelsey at this point. Travis.
You mean Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
I honestly don't think Travis Kelce is going to be the greatest tight end. I still don't think he is.
We may have one better than him to come, but as of right now, I don't think one has been better in the NFL.
Tony Gonzalez was better than Travis Kelce.
Ooh, spicy take.
We can debate that on another podcast.
We will debate this on another podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've at least identified 1, 2, and 3 of the greatest tight ends of all time, and only one of them was on the New England Patriots. He was there for 9 years. 7,800 yards, 79 touchdowns, 100% success rate on his rushing. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He had one attempt for 2 yards and a touchdown. That's 100%, baby. Let's go. But, he went to the Pro Bowl, 5 times? They went to the Super Bowl a million times. Came out of retirement just to party with Tom down in Tampa Bay. Like, what more can you say about Gronk? He was terrible in the WWE, and he's not great on commentary.
And apparently he's a lot smarter than people believe, that he's some kind of savant when it comes to mathematics.
I would love to see that.
I want to see proof of that.
I think he embodies the definition of himbo, in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong.
I forget who it was, but there was someone who was on the Patriots who would say that he could go up to Gronk and say, "What's the square root of some big ass number?" And Gronk would just rattle off the answer. And he's like, "I gotta get this guy to Vegas." And the one time he got him to Vegas, he got swarmed with fans, and he couldn't get him alone to a table. It was just a catastrophe.
Try again in about 2 years.
I picked Gronk. You're right. There's only one choice. It's like, why am I even debating this? Best tight end, career yards by far, and the only player that Tom Brady had to steal to Tampa Bay to make that work.
Yeah.
Moving on to the final position, the kicker. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I was torn between Steven Gostkowski and Adam Vinatieri. I really wanted to pick Adam Vinatieri for this, but by every metric I could come up with, Gostkowski beats Adam Vinatieri, and it kills me to say this. Nick Folk gets a distant third. My answer for the best kicker of the Patriots is Steven Gostkowski.
So I had the same thing. Like I wanted to find a way to have Vinatieri do it because I think he's going to be one of the few guys that's the best on two different teams. But Gostkowski just was better during Patriots time. If you take just their Patriots careers in side by side, Gostkowski beats him in the stats that matter. So it's like it's Gostkowski, man. I gotta give it to him. Vinatieri's a close second, but it's Steven Gostkowski easily.
See, I didn't do my research. There are 3 pure kickers in the NFL Hall of Fame. Of those 3 pure kickers in the NFL Hall of Fame, only one of them was on the New England Patriots. He was on there long enough to say that he was an integral part of their team. He won Super Bowls. I had to go Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you, Pete.
You're welcome. But I also didn't look at stats, so I didn't get myself talked out of it. I just went to the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to say him.
That's where I messed up, as I looked at the stat block. That ruined everything.
Yeah.
I found it hilarious that everybody I picked for my pinnacle list of the Patriots at one point were all on the Patriots at the same time, and they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Eli Manning.
That's
the future not Hall of Famer.
Not yet. Soon. 2027.
Is this going to be like the Cowboys skit that every year it's going to be his year?
Just keep scratching the line on the tattoo and putting the new year below it.
Basically, yeah.
But that is it for the Patriots and the AFC East. Tune in next week when we start the NFC East with the Washington Commanders and all of its previous iterations. But for now, Adam, bring us home.
I can't wait to get to the AFC West. This is going to be so much fun. But before we get into that, let's get into final thoughts. Pete, what wrestling news you got for us today?
This one's going to be a little topical to my girl, Toni Storm. She is injured and is going to be out for an indefinite period of time. I wish her the best of recovery to that. I believe she's having surgery. I hope all goes well. I hope you come back soon and stronger than ever, and we will miss you.
Tom, what you got?
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family of Nicholas Brandon, an actor that was best known for playing Xander Harris in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The character was great, and it's sad that he's gone. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick for winning the Goodyear 400 in Darlington. This is Tyler Reddick's 4th win of the year. He makes his owner and car sponsor Michael Jordan very proud. Next week is the Cookout 400 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Can't wait to see it.
I think we're turning into a NASCAR podcast at the end of the show.
Got to bring it in somehow.
Yeah, we're good. But, and to wrap things up, today is actually opening day of MLB season. We have officially started Major League Baseball on March 25th. March! We're playing baseball in March. This is ridiculous.
There was snow on the ground 30 seconds ago.
I know, right? That's why Minnesota never opens the season at home. But yeah, we have a full slate of baseball games today for opening day. We did not have it last year where they started like a week early because they played some games in Korea for a series and then like took 5 days off, then started the rest of the season. Today is actually a true opening day for MLB, which will be, I'm excited for this season because this is the first year that they are implementing the ABS call system in major leagues. So we will get official challenges on balls and strikes now in game.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I saw some of their test runs of that. It was hilarious.
Well, in some of the test runs, like the umpire missed it by like 0.01 inch. I'm like, come on, man. You got to give the umpire something on that. Like, yeah, he missed it. Yeah. But like barely 1/100th of an inch. He missed that call.
The one I saw, they were kind of making fun of the umpire because she was like one of the few female umpires, and it was right down the center. It was high in the box, but it was still in the box, and it was dead center, and she called it a ball, and they were like, no, this is clearly a strike.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they do it to all umpires that miss that easy of a call.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how often it actually happens, too. Like, dude, this is supposed to be like the best version of umpires for baseball. And you can't get a ball almost down the middle. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. And I'm excited for baseball season. I always get really excited for baseball season, the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. It's the other 7 months in between that it's hard to get excited for.
It's so true.
Too many games in your season, sir.
They double basketball and hockey. Both have 82. Baseball is at 162. So not quite a complete double, but basically. That's ridiculous.
Too much.
Yeah. But that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in to us. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. And you can also find us on our social medias at Facebook and Instagram at Geeks and Greeks. Until next time, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. Later, guys.
See ya.
Peace.
Please don't hurt me!